Welcome back, guys. I'm doing this second video because it was just entirely too much information to try to put on that one video. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to cover some of the details I wasn't able to cover on the video from July the 4th and talk about a few other things that I've found out since. Again, it's going to speak to the character of the person that I have to deal with in all of this, and yeah, sort of explain the story a little bit further. And once we get through these couple videos here, then I'm going to go back and, you know, again, as I promised, I'm going to go back through and cover each one of those instances, you know, each one of those specific issues that occurred. I'm going to cover them in detail, in sequential order. This way here, there's a better understanding of what's been going on. But when things like this come up, I think it's, you know, it's important to cover it in a timely manner. Any of the videos that I've ever made on Facebook on live, the reason why they were so impactful is because it was while it was happening. You know, something would literally happen that day, and then once I got myself settled in, then I could turn around and do the video on it. So that's the reason why I did these the way I did. I didn't want to exclude people from YouTube because my friends from Facebook have all been invited to come over and see this channel. They can come over and see it anytime. And you know, again, like right now, the subject matter that I'm covering is my relationship and what happened to it. I'll eventually get into other things like trucking and business and finance and all of that stuff too. But right now, this is really a timely issue, you know, in my life. So that's why I'm covering it like I am. If you guys have any suggestions or anything, any questions, feel free to comment by all means. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, hit the bell so that way you're notified as soon as I come out with another new video. I'm starting to get a little bit better at putting this stuff out. It is it's a little more challenging to do it all on a phone, but I don't mind having to work for it. The result in the end comes out pretty well, I think. If you guys have any suggestions at all, please comment or you know, get in contact with me and let me know like what you think that, you know, would improve the channel, or things you know subject matter you want me to cover. I mean, I can't cover everything because the only thing that I really am willing to talk about are things that I know about, and the only thing I'm an expert at is my own life. Picking the wrong people, allowing it to get screwed up, and finding a way to somehow rebuild it. That's my specialty, I guess. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys coming through. You know, again, like, share, subscribe, all that good, happy stuff. Everything, same thing that every other content creator says. Because I don't really feel like I'm a content creator. I'm a guy who is a business owner. I drive a truck, and you know, literally, I'm going through some crazy stuff regarding a relationship. I think between this one and my previous marriage, I've got enough experience there for a couple lifetimes. So I appreciate you guys coming through again. It means so much to me that you guys are taking your personal time to watch these videos. I know a lot of people can relate to a lot of the things I'm going to. To those particular people, I thank you very, very much for taking your time, because really, why would you want to go back and even have to experience that stuff all over again? So it means a lot to me. And for those of you that are coming here because, you know, you're looking for those red flags, those warning signs, you're going to hear them all come up. So again, guys, I appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. And we'll get to this really long introduction that my son tells me I need to reduce down, and I refuse to do it. That 4 minutes or 3.5 minutes, whatever it is, that's a capsule of what happened. And like I said, the more times you watch these videos, when you get to that and you start watching it, you start putting the puzzle pieces together. You're like, oh wow, this really did happen. Like, it really was like this. It was, guys. It was an amazing life. It's the one thing I can say is I have a lot of incredible memories. It was really good. When it was good, it was amazing. It just was. I mean, it wasn't just the fairy tale relationship for the people in the outside world to see. It was pretty amazing for me too. I am very grateful for the relationship. I'm not walking around with some big chip on my shoulder. These are just things I had to work through as an adult. The way I see it is, she's made choices in her life as an adult, and I've decided to make my own decisions now. So, but you'll see. I'm going to try to extract some of these videos from from the other social media platform and see if I can just stick them directly on here. It was a suggestion that one of my friends made. Said, hey, you know what? Why can't you just turn around and take the video and just put it right on there? It would be easier. I'm still trying to figure out how to do some of this stuff, guys. I'm an old man. I'm not Mr. Technology. I'm lucky I can do this. But again, I thank you guys for stopping through, and let's go ahead and get this thing started.
I don't even know my competitors' names. I don't even know they exist. Give a fuck. Spend 0 seconds on it. Cheering for them, let them do their thing, has nothing to do with me. The world is abundant. Nobody on earth is taking your money or your happiness. Your perception that they are is taking your money and your fucking happiness.
See how mad she is? Hold on, where do you get this? Ow! Wait a minute, I got this. Oh, wait, you only got 2 spots left. So it's now Wednesday, July the 6th. And part one was recorded on July the 4th when I got back in town. And the purpose of that video was I was originally going to release that video later on so I can keep everything in sequential order so I can tell the story. But I thought it was important enough that people have at least a basic idea of like how it all started, like what went wrong. And just to put this out here now and say, like, well, this is how it ends. Well, this is how what it's come to, because it's got a lot of little plot twists, and it's a crazy little roller coaster that I've been riding on. But so again, today's now July the 6th. It's 2 days after I recorded those other pieces that went on part one. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna add these little things in here that I've discovered since. So, just in review, I get back to the house, it's trashed, I clean that place up. In the process, I find some mail that they've been hiding, and, you know, again, interestingly enough, again, the mail that I found was a letter from basically the state's Child Protective Services Bureau. And that letter was a certified piece of mail that was signed for. I don't have the receipt for it being signed because I wasn't there, guys. My logs follow me everywhere I go and they never get turned off. So I certainly wasn't there when it was delivered. But again, strangely enough, it's a certified piece of mail. It needed to be signed for. She wasn't there. I wasn't there. The only person that had access to be able to sign for that stuff was in fact her father. So maybe he signed for it. He got rid of the receipt to sign for this certified piece of mail. And nonetheless, the letter itself I found, and it was hidden behind the credenza. It was purposely put there so it wouldn't be found. That letter was dated well, hold on 1 second, let me see. Little file, little paperwork here. Here's my letter. Yeah, it's dated June the 15th. And again, that particular letter tells me that I've got to be able to contact this man by 4:30 p.m. on June the 21st. And that letter was delivered to the house. Initially, it was the first delivery was attempted on the 18th. It was finally delivered and signed for on the 21st. Wasn't me that signed for it, though, guys. Again, I wasn't around. So there's that. And that particular letter basically is a letter accusing me of physically abusing my 2-year-old baby, which is just a ridiculous thought. Don't lay hands on kids. I mean, it's... So, there's only one person, obviously, who was going to turn around and do that. And the reason being, again, is she was notified on numerous occasions that I'm not legally responsible for paying her bills. She wanted the house. She wanted to be financially responsible for everything regarding the house, and she got that. But yet she can't afford to pay for it. And this is her way of trying to extort money from me. This is now the third time that she's done this. 2 previous times she tried protection orders. The sheriff's department won't take protection order applications from her anymore. So she went the route that she knows because she's actually been investigated by the Child Protective Services Bureau of that particular state. And those people taught her that you can make that go away by simply applying for a personal protection order. Well, she couldn't do that, so she had called me a few weeks prior to me getting home that Memorial Day weekend and told me that there was this guy who came by, and she claimed that he was investigating her again, and she was asking me all these questions, and said that like he wouldn't explain why he was there, which makes no sense because obviously if they're investigating you, they have to tell you what you're being investigated for. The letter tells me what I'm being investigated for now. But I think it's kind of strange and awfully convenient that, you know, all of a sudden this comes up, and I don't have any prior record of anything. Okay, when you go back and you look at the actual, sorry guys, when you look at the actual history of what's been going on in that house, she's been accused of multiple crimes. She's being investigated again by the city again and by the county. So it's interesting how it all plays out, because I guess when you think like a criminal, then that's the best you can come up with. It has always been, since the moment she realized that I was leaving her, since last August, it was do everything you can to circle the wagons. We're going to do everything we can to sit here and destroy this man's reputation. I have text messages from her where she's literally told me, I'd hate to see you lose your career. There's only a few things that make me lose my career, guys. I'm an owner-operator, okay? And the big thing that would make me lose my career would be any kind of a criminal record at all. I can't have one. You got to be squeaky clean in order to pass a Fed check, and you can never have anything on there that looks obscure in any way, because they will immediately take you off the contract. You can no longer haul for them ever. So it's very strict to get in there. There's a lot of prerequisites, and that's like one of the main ones. You can't have a criminal record of any sort. So, and which is ironic, because why would she want to affect my ability to make money when what she's trying to do is fleece money out of me anyway? But so I managed to get most of the stuff I wanted to get taken care of over between July 4th when I arrived and July 5th. I left out of there yesterday evening. And an interesting part about it is when you come to an end of a relationship, for me it was very hard in the past, knowing that she was with another man and our relationship was over. It was very hard to go back to the house, again, because I have been diagnosed with complex post-traumatic stress disorder. You'll have to go back in one of the videos and watch it. It explains what it is. I have a lot of things that trigger me, so like even being back at the house, I noticed in the past I had real difficulty being there. I was very emotional while I was there. I would just see things that it would remind me of our past together. Even when I went to the beach on Memorial Day, I noticed it, well, the day before Memorial Day, I noticed it was extremely difficult for me to be there, because that was always just like our place. And yeah, I had a real hard time being there, but I enjoyed it because I was there with my sons. But yeah, it's interesting, all the little twists and turns, and how she even gets other people in her family involved, and how those people sit there and try to lie right to my face. I mean, I can read her mom and her dad like a book, because just like her, they're horrible liars. That's where she learned it from. You guys have probably heard me say it before. My friends have certainly heard me say it. She is a great actress. She is a horrible liar. Both of her parents are horrible liars too. They can never keep the story straight. She's probably actually a better liar than they are, but that's because she has sat there and played men like this for the longest time. And she's got this thing down to almost a fine science, but she's just not good enough. So yeah, we got all that kind of stuff going on. Found some other documentation around the house that was rather interesting that I can't really discuss right now. But I will just say that at this point here, there have been plenty of times in the last year where I've heard her say this to me: "You set me up. This was a setup." Well, I have all the proof in the world that she's involved in trying to set up, ruining my reputation, ruining my good name, trying to bring my character and my integrity into question. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. And I don't think I can't figure out how she thinks that's going to get money out of me. I've tried to explain to other people in the past, like, you get more bees with honey than with. But she doesn't see it that way. Her phone calls are always the same way. They start off very nice, just like yesterday's did. They start off very nice. She wants to sit there and talk about the kids, and then she will bring up things about her personal finances or her personal life or her relationship issues. And I stop her dead in her tracks. I'm like, it's none of my business. It's not my concern. And then all of a sudden it's flip out, and immediately as soon as she flipped out yesterday, it's like she always does, goodbye, click, hang up, and then bam, I'm gonna text bomb you. It's crazy, guys. And now it's so predictable. So one of the things she told me yesterday was that she's been up there in Virginia, and her step-grandfather was very ill, and he had to have some surgeries that were going to be life-altering, but he also has some other underlying issues as well. And so it's been my ex, her mom, my 2 kids by her, and then her 2 other kids by her ex-husband, and the grandfather in and out when he's not in the hospital. They're a very confined area. Well, this man, he got out of the hospital, he got discharged, and he got very sick again. And they took him back to the hospital after partying for all this time. And guys, I can tell you, like, in all honesty, she's been living it up there. It's very interesting to me because the amount of activity that I get to see that she's involved in, and I have ways of doing that because, again, that phone that's in her possession is mine. I can do anything I want with that phone. So I can see everything that's going on, including everything she tries to delete. It doesn't make a difference. I can still see it all. I can see it real time. I can see anything that was ever on there. And she knows this, but she's ignorant. After all this, all through the end of June, all through the beginning of July, just doing all kinds of, crazy stuff. And doing a lot of stuff with the kids too. So she's been very, very busy. She tells me that fireworks were like 10 o'clock up there in Virginia where she was at. Well, that's great. I don't care. Did the kids have a good time? Well, let me send you some pictures. Great, send me some pictures. I haven't seen my kids in over a month. I finally get to talk to my sons, which was nice. But again, there were motives behind it. That's why she was doing all this. She gets back on the phone and she tells me that her grandfather went back to the hospital. He was very sick. They had to call an ambulance to come get him. And as it turns out, he's got COVID. So now they're in this little house. There's 7 of them in this little house. And they're all exposed to COVID, right? So her mom comes up with this genius plan. Well, we need to make sure everybody's tested. But she didn't test everybody. She just picked and chose who she was going to test. I guess maybe her mom got tested. I don't know. I don't have no confirmation on that. But she did. My kid's mom did. She didn't test either of my 2 biological kids. And I don't know if she tested the other 2 kids either. But she says, well, everybody's negative. I'm like, everybody's negative. She's like, but I was positive. I said, what? She was like, I tested positive. Now, the first thing I think of, because, this is just how I am now, I think, well, that's not the first positive test result she ever got back. But, wow, it looked like I actually had hair there for a second. Like I had a great hairline. Look at that. Sorry. Anyway, so she pops hot for COVID, right? Interesting. And she sounds just fine to me when she's on the phone. Sounds like she might be a little jacked up on something, but she sounds overall, she says she's okay. She's telling me, yeah, I just don't feel good, my body aches, and it feels like someone beat me up. Okay. You got COVID, but what are you doing? Because you should be quarantined, and I can hear, the kids are right there with you, everybody's around you. And when COVID first popped off, guys, I've been doing this all throughout COVID, okay? All throughout the pandemic, I've been doing this whole thing, never stopped working. She was very afraid, and she told me at one point, about 6 months in, you're out there, you're amongst all these different people, and a holiday was coming up. She told me, neither me or my older son from my first marriage were welcome into that home because we were too much of a risk. And now she's doing this. But it gets better. So now she claims she has COVID, okay? She's supposed to have her 2 older kids by her previous husband back at their house today. She tells me, yeah, I'm going to leave at 0300 and I'll have them down there. I don't care. They're not my children. They're his children. You made the arrangements with him. But what she doesn't realize is me and him talk on a pretty regular basis. about these kinds of things. So when I find this out, of course, I'm going to contact him and be like, look, you need to understand, like, have you talked to her? No, I've been trying to get a hold of her all day long. I'm texting her and calling her, and she's not returning my calls. Well, that's strange because she called me. She's got your children. You have every right to know where they're at. And just like me, you have no idea. We talked again tonight while I was on my way out here to this delivery. In the middle of the night, it's 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. And he's asking me, do I have the address? Because I don't have the address. I don't know where she's at. Do you know the grandfather's name? No, I don't know his name. His first name's Steve. That's all I know. I don't know these people. He tried to call the local PD. And the local PD just shot him down and said, hey, we're not getting involved in this. So basically, you've got a mother. She's got 2 sets of kids from 2 different fathers. She just takes them and just disappears. And now she's got COVID. So both fathers are worried to death about their children, but we can't get answers, right? That's interesting because this is good parenting. Okay? If you should ever wonder why she lost her other children to the fathers, this is the quality parenting you get. But I was sold a bill of goods, like she was this great, humble, good Christian mother, and it's just not the case, guys. I mean, you can certainly make your own opinion if you know her. People change over time. I get it. So, but again, so now she's got COVID, right? How are you getting the kids home? I mean, it's not like a cold. You're not going to get over COVID like in a couple days. I've never seen anything medically proven that says, yeah, it's like a cold that goes away. She's not being treated, and she will communicate with the other father to let him know when his children are going to be back home. She texted me last night before I talked to her ex-husband and says, well, it looks like you're probably going to get your wish. I'm like, why are you bothering me? That's my response every time. If you're not texting me regarding our sons and me being able to contact my sons, why are you bothering me? I've already told you that I don't want anything to do with you regarding your personal issues. Well, I have to go to the hospital. I'm leaving to go to the hospital because I feel like hell. Okay. Who's watching the kids? Furthermore, she told me when they took her grandfather to the hospital last night, she went with her mom. And I'm like, well, who watched the kids? Oh, well, my older son and daughter were here. They're 12 and 14. Their own father doesn't leave them home alone by themselves because, again, they're just kids. These people were leaving to go to the hospital. They were going to be gone like all night long. So you have a baby that's 2, a little boy that's 6, and an 11-year-old and a 14-year-old are supposed to watch them, or a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old are supposed to watch them. Like, they know what to do, right? And understand, the hospital wasn't like right around the corner. They're not in the city. They're out in the country somewhere up in the mountains. So they got to drive a long way. There's no adult supervision in that house whatsoever. And now she's telling me last night that she's going to the hospital again, and of course her mom's going to tag along with her. And I said, who's going to watch the kids? They'll be fine. My older kids are here. This is what I get to deal with. So now you've got someone who's proven the competency as a parent that they have, and the amount of responsibility that they have, which is the same amount of responsibility they take for all the choices in their life. But you also got this person, sitting there trying to extort money from me by claiming that I was involved in some kind of crime against my 2-year-old. But here's the other thing, guys. But wait, there's more. In October, when she first got investigated by the CPS in that state for abusing my 6-year-old, and I've got all the photographs of it. That's how they found out about it. When her ex-husband found out that she was under investigation for child abuse, he refused to let those 2 kids, the 12-year-old and the 14-year-old, come down for Halloween. Her response to that The day after she started getting investigated, she got on the phone at 2 o'clock in the morning and she called CPS in South Carolina where he lives and turned around and said that he had done something inappropriate with the daughter, the 12-year-old. So that man was sitting there fighting for his life. She's made false accusations many times, guys, okay, for all kinds of crazy stuff. If any of it were true, she would be the world's biggest victim. You have to be extremely careful with who you get with. I was duped. The man before me was duped. The man before him was duped. The man before him was duped. We're all in a club together. We all know each other. We all talk. It's crazy. You know, and again, the reason why they never, you know, I can't say they never warned me, because her first husband and the last husband both tried to warn me. But they sat there and said, like, the reason why they didn't get involved is, like, you know, it's not their place to get involved in that relationship. They had enough respect for me. At the same time, they knew I was going to go through all this, and here we are. So the vetting process, when you start, you know, seeing somebody or dating them, is extremely important. I'm finding this out the hard way. You know, at a half a century old, I'm finding out just how bad it can really get. Guys, it gets bad. Trust me. Imagine you're just a good, hardworking guy. You know, you're an honest citizen. You don't have a criminal record, and all of a sudden stuff's being thrown at you left and right every couple of months when they're trying to throw you in jail. This is now the third attempt by her to do something like this. You know, and even her ex-husband said, man, she's really coming to you strong. Like, she didn't come at me this strong. She just left me. I said, well, that's the difference. I'm leaving her, and she can't stand it. And she doesn't have the upper hand. You know, when I just turn around and say, no, I'm done. Like I did on Memorial Day, I finally gave it to her and said, look, that's it. That's it. This is what happens, guys. So, that being said, guys, that's the update for the day, okay? I'll get back into these stories so you can figure out how exactly we got here today and how I'm basically moving the last of my stuff out of my home. The next time I cut another video, I should have some time here in another day or two to cut something else. It takes a little while to edit these things and upload them and everything else, but we'll get another one out there. I certainly enjoy being able to share these stories with new people that I don't know. I've had several people reach out to me since I started putting them out, and again, graciously sharing their stories, and I appreciate that as well, that you'd be willing to trust me with your story, because this stuff's not easy. And in my particular case, as I've told several people, the situation I'm in, it would break a lot of people. And yeah, I've just been strong about it. I've had my moments of weakness early on. Through the end of last year, I was really, really bad with it all. But I've managed to square myself away and realize that my own happiness and my own self-respect is probably more important than anything right now for me. And it should be for everybody who's watching this. You know, again, these videos aren't just made for truck drivers. It just happens to be what I do for a living. Okay, this is for anybody. You know, you want to be in a relationship, or, you know, you're in a marriage and you've got questions, or God forbid you got divorced already or separated. You're going to see a lot of similarities between your story and mine. So, I mean, I'm not just a, well, here's this guy that he's got this, you know, crazy story. No, there's a bunch of people that have these. I used to think the same thing, like, this is the most horrible thing in the world. Like, how could this possibly happen to me? It's the worst story ever. No. It's happening to a lot of people because people don't place a value on that relationship. They don't understand the value of exclusivity. And that's what happened with her. And if you're going to be out there handing it out for free, understand there's no value to me. I'm not paying for all this. Why would I pay you to be with another person? No. But guys, I appreciate you guys, you know, watching my channel. Again, if you get an opportunity to, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell so you get reminders. Hit like for the video. Why? Because you like me. And if you don't, hit the dislike button, and that's fine too. You don't have to like me. If you get an opportunity, share it with some of your friends. Put it out there. But I'll be back soon enough. I appreciate you taking your time to learn more about my life and my situation. And it looks like I need to get some sleep because it's been a long day. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks again.